Good evening. Dear student, in 9th class, we classified substances, chemical substances into two groups, element and compounds, which were categorized as pure substances. Elements are consist of only one type of atom, one type of atom having same atomic number, but compounds contain two or more types of atom. Now the question arises, how these compounds are formed. Today we shall discuss one type of compounds, that is ionic compounds, and we shall see how these ionic compounds are formed. You are all familiar that elements usually have 1 to 7 valence electron. That is, electrons in their outermost orbit. Noble gases with an exception of helium have 8 electrons in their outermost orbit. Lewis suggested that noble gases are inert, that is, they are least reactive because of their 8 electron configuration. That is, except helium, they have 8 electrons in their outermost orbit. Now, all other elements which have 1 to 7 valence electron have tendency to acquire the stable configuration of their nearest noble gas. For example, sodium with electronic configuration 281 has tendency to acquire the stable configuration of neon, whose electronic configuration is 28. Now this sodium atom has 1 electron in excess as compared to the electronic configuration of neon. Therefore, if it loses 1 electron, its atom becomes stable and it acquires the stable configuration of neon. On the other hand, chlorine atom has electronic configuration 287, and the nearest noble gas to chlorine is argon with electronic configuration 288. Obviously, chlorine has 1 electron less as compared to the stable configuration of argon. So it has a strong tendency to gain 1 electron and acquire stable configuration of its nearest noble gas, argon. So when chlorine atom acquires stable configuration by gaining 1 electron, electron, it forms chloride ion. So what you see here, that in order to acquire a stable configuration, atoms have tendency to lose or to gain electrons. Now, to which sodium atom would lose its one electron from the outermost orbit. Obviously, it can transfer its one electron to the chlorine atom so that it will acquire stable configuration of neon, and chlorine atom would also acquire stable configuration of argon. So, as a result of this transfer of the electron, what happens? Sodium atom is converted into sodium ion. Chlorine atom is converted into chloride ion. Now these two ions attract each other by a very strong inter-ionic attraction. Inter-ionic attraction means attraction between oppositely charged ions, and this resulting the formation of sodium chloride. So in this way, this inter-ionic attraction between sodium ion and chloride ion is called ionic bond. So from this, we can derive definition of an ionic bond. A chemical bond which is formed between two atoms as a result of transfer of electron from one atom to another atom is called an ionic bond. What is an ionic bond? An ionic bond is a chemical bond which is formed between two atoms. How? By the transfer of electron from one atom to another atom. Now we shall discuss the formation of some ionic compounds to illustrate the concept of ionic bond. Let's see. Electronic configuration of magnesium is 2A2. Obviously, it has 2 electrons in its outermost orbit. Electronic configuration of oxygen is 2,6. It has 6 electrons in its outermost orbit. Now remember, only the electrons in the outermost orbit take part in the bonding. That is, the electrons are transferred from the outermost orbit, and electrons are usually transferred to outermost orbit. So we show only electrons in the outermost orbit by an electron dot method, in which one dot represents one electron. For example, magnesium has 2 electrons in its outermost orbit, so we have shown 2 dots for these 2 electrons in the outermost orbit. Oxygen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons in its outermost orbit. Nearest noble gas to these 2 atoms is neon, electronic configuration 2,8. Obviously, in order to acquire stable configuration of neon, magnesium atom has to transfer its 2 electrons. And oxygen atom requires 2 electrons to complete its octet. Octet means to have 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. It requires 2 electrons to complete its octet. So magnesium atom transfers its 2 electrons to the oxygen atom. Now since the magnesium atom is losing 2 electrons, so it forms magnesium ion. And oxygen atom is gaining 2 electrons, therefore it acquires 2 unit negative charge in form oxide ion. In this way, magnesium oxide is formed.
सर जानवी डिस्कनेक्ट हो गई.
Let's see one more example. Formation of aluminium oxide, Al2O3. Aluminium atom has 3 electrons in its outermost orbit. Its electronic configuration 283. Oxygen atom 6 electrons in its outermost orbit. So in order to distinguish these electrons from the aluminium, I am using this symbol. Oxygen atom requires 2 electrons to complete its octet and acquire the stable configuration of neon. Aluminium atom has a tendency to lose 3 electrons and acquire the stable configuration of neon, 288. 28. Right. So what's the solution? 2 atoms of aluminium transfer their 6 electrons to 3 oxygen atoms. You can show like this. Two aluminium atoms transferring their 6 electrons to 3 oxygen atoms, and in this way 2 aluminium ions with 3 unit positive charge and 3 oxide ion with 2 unit negative charge are formed. This results in the formation of aluminium oxide. So in order to show the formation of the ionic bond, you remember in 10th class CBSE, you should know, you should familiar with the electronic configuration of first 20 elements, that is from hydrogen to calcium. If you are not familiar with the electronic configuration of the first 20 elements, you cannot understand, you cannot answer the questions related to the formation of ionic bond. Let's see a few more examples. Formation of calcium chloride, CaCl2. Electronic configuration of calcium is 2-8-8-2. So it has 2 electrons in its outermost orb, and it has tendency to lose these 2 electrons and form a stable configuration. Chlorine atom have 7 electrons in their outermost orbit. Two at 7. And nearest noble gas is argon, 288. So it requires 1 electron to complete its octet. So what the solution? Calcium atom transfer its 2 electron to 2 chlorine atom. Result, calcium ion with 2 unit positive charge because it is losing 2 electron, and chloride ion, 2 chloride ion, each carrying 1 unit negative charge is formed. This results in the formation of calcium chloride. Formation of sodium oxide, Na2O. Electronic configuration of sodium is 281. It has 1 electron in its outermost orbit. Nearest noble gas is neon, 28. Electronic configuration of oxygen is 26. It has 6 electrons in its outermost orbit, and it requires 2 electrons to complete its octet and to attain the stable configuration of neon. So one atom of the sodium cannot complete the octet of oxygen atom. So 2 atoms of the sodium transfer their 2 electrons to oxygen atom. This results in the formation of 2 sodium ion carrying 1 unit positive charge, because the sodium atom is losing only 1 electron. So it acquires 1 unit positive charge and 1 oxygen atom. Since oxygen atom has gained 2 electrons, so it acquires 2 unit negative charge. This results in the formation of sodium oxide. Let's see the formation of calcium oxide. Electronic configuration of calcium is 2-8-8-2. So it has 2 electrons in its outermost orbit. Oxygen atom has 6 electrons in its outermost orbit. It requires 2 electrons. It has tendency to lose 2 electrons. So calcium atom transfer its 2 electrons to oxygen atom, and this results in the formation of calcium cation with 2 unit positive charge and oxide ion. Result, compound calcium oxide. So what you see here, that a chemical bond which is formed between 2 atoms as a result of the transfer of the electron from one atom to another atom is called an ionic bond. That's all today's